There is this drill and hole in the wall is so inspiring to some people that they get misleaded and sidetracked. It's not so easy to apply, because once you start, you realize that there's so many jobs that you have to understand, or that they are on so many different levels that confusion is there quickly. It's not like Osterwalder saying pain, gain, and here is a job. It can become very complex. So how to manage this complexity? And the first thing is, job to be done is not just the function. So job to be done is much more than a function. We call it, it's really what's the meaning behind it? What's the higher meaning? What's the purpose behind it? Job to be done can easily be put into a function. That's the function that people want to do. They want to put up a painting, so that's the job, and that's a functional job. And then you put it up. You try to understand what is involved in putting up a painting. But that's too limiting. Job to be done is more than just a function. Is that clear? Function. Have you experienced this dilemma of being too much into the function?
I tried the just sentence.
Yeah.
As relief project, and it's harder to define the emotional job and the functional one as well, because that means you really ask the good questions to get them. It is essential. So necessarily it's harder to define this one. But it's hard to separate some ideas from the
Ulrich is very functional. He's an engineer. He used to be an engineer, and he's very process thinking, and that's his strength. But you mentioned emotional jobs. We say there are no emotional jobs. You read everywhere there are emotional jobs and social jobs. But if you think about it, there are not emotional jobs. Because what is an emotion? Emotion is things like fear or frustration or sorrow or pain, or things like this is emotion. And this is always triggered by something. So the emotion can be a result of a poorly performed job. Yes, that can be the case. But the job itself is not. There's no emotional job to create fear. Okay, but that's very functional.
How about feeling cool? I'm going to buy an Apple Watch because I feel cool, and people will think I'm really cool.
Well, feel cool.
I don't care about actually doing anything with the watch. I just want to,
Yeah.
Isn't that an emotion?
Yeah. No. Feel cool is not an emotion in my view, except that if you feel cold, then that can trigger an emotion. But feel cool we would phrase it differently. You would say to impress someone. To impress. Why do people buy an Apple Watch? It's not just the function of an Apple Watch, especially when it comes out, but it's also to impress someone. Hey, I'm the first one who has an Apple Watch. And to obtain conversation pieces, for example. Very typical when a new product comes out. What's this? You're the first one who have this Apple Watch, so I'm impressed, huh? And then you have discussions about it.
Well, I give a phone to my kid because I feel safe. It removes
Feel safe.
fear. So.
Feel safe is that is in our view a job that we have quite often. Huh? And I solved that. Feel safe is a very interesting one. Huh? But it's not just a function. Huh? It's more. Okay, we have this example. Grandpa's watch, clock stand is in the living room. First it looks ugly. Time is not precise. Sometimes it stops. Why is it still in the living room? What's the job of this clock?
Is it still in the living room?
Huh?
Is it still in the living room?
Yeah. Why do people hire this? You know, it's more, okay? This clock has a meaning. This clock has a meaning to the person, and it's this meaning that you have to find. What's the meaning? What's the higher meaning behind it? It's not. I mean, we say it's the meaning that sells. That's how we call this internally. And there's a philosopher who says this. He wrote a lot about fashion. And it's really the meaning for a person that sells. Let's make an example. Pampers. I worked for Pampers. So what's the function of Pampers is to keep babies dry. That's the function. But what's the meaning behind this product?
I thought it was to keep the parents,
that's another job.
not be bothered.
Keep the parents, save time for the parents. But there is much more. There's a meaning behind this product. There's a role this product plays, or at least Procter tried to capture this role. Yeah.
All the members advertisements are just babies walking around and like the future. It's about the perspective and like the parents can really envision the vision of the baby with the parents. That's the main.
Very good, very good. That's
You're a good parent.
parents. What do parents want most?
Happy babies.
Not just happy babies, successful babies in life. That's the key purpose. You grow up. That's almost like archetype. That's biological, and that's the meaning behind this product. Pampers makes babies grow up and develop better than if you don't use Pampers. And that was really the strategy of Pampers.
Can I ask at this point how, for example, that parents want successful babies, what did it influence in Pampers, in the product?
Everything, product development. So a whole range of new products. One was for newborn, one was for babies crawling on the floor. One was for babies standing up, in the process of standing up. One was for babies climbing. So it was a whole range of about 6 different products which were really fit to the development stages of babies. So 0 to first month to 6 months, 6 months to 12 months. And it was really, that was one key thing. So really product development. Second one was advertising.
That's always, I think.
That's always, but it's very important. We will see. That's about the value proposition that a product can deliver. I have to look something up because I have other examples. I know the Pampers example is really a mind-blowing one, but that's really the job to be done, if you want. That is behind this product, and it influenced a lot. Another example from technology. Very recent one. I mean, we're doing a project right now on this. Technology makes suddenly things possible. Okay, we agree. There was this technology which is called mobile technology. Suddenly you can do stuff on the mobile which you couldn't do before. So how do banks embrace this technology? Banks, they have just gone from non-online to online. That happened about 10 years ago. And now comes mobile technology. So what do? They take the online technology and put it onto mobile. So basically they replicate what is online, because that's pretty much close to mobile, and they put it on mobile. And then they realize, okay, it's not adopted. Consumers, users are not using it the way we anticipated. I mean, they don't do payments. But what's the job? What could be a higher meaning behind mobile? When you do then job interviews and job to be done interviews and observations and so, you realize that there are people who go on the account every day, a couple of times a day. They always look at their account. So what's the job behind? Why do they do this? What's the meaning? It's the same behavior than a child does when he gets the pig. How do you call this? The piggy bank. And then sometimes looks, is it still there? So that's the job behind it, probably. Huh? And knowing this, that mobile fulfills another role than online banking, can be very, very insightful and very important for product development, for communication, for the future roadmap of the products, because you have to bring users along. So that's an example. I have more. I mean, basically in all the projects we try to reframe it and try to find the larger meaning behind it, which guides then afterwards product development or communication or strategy. Yeah? So don't apply job to be done functionally, is the key message. Apply it in a larger sense. And we have afterwards a tool that you could use, try to use for your startup. I mean, this is also not new, this higher meaning. I mean, we're talking about communication a lot. Communication is very important. Communication creates reality. There is very famous examples of communications which happened in the 60s and the 70s, which changed the meaning of a product, which changed the role of a product in people's life. And the concept that the advertising industry created was called the consumer insight, and that was really that is the word that is used in advertising, and it's about reframing the role of a product in the people's life. The first one documented was I mean, you know what this is? Marlboro. Huh? So cigarettes, I mean, a strange product. We can ask what it is, what's the role of this product, was suddenly reframed with the Marlboro Man. And if you think about this symbol, what does it mean? You know, what's the job behind? It can be survival in a dangerous world, and the cigarette plays this role. Yeah. So that is probably the reason why it is successful. And this created billions of this innovation, if you want, created billions. I mean, if a company that you know is still alive because of this. Which is the company? Apple. It was aired once, this ad. And it reframed Apple as a brand, because the product changed as a brand totally differently, and probably Apple survived because of this ad. Think different. Huh? Don't think Microsoft. Don't think different. And that's probably, that's the reframing that happened.
Think differently.
Huh? About
in English, it's think differently.
Think differently. Yeah. Think differently. Sorry. Yeah.
No, but so it is think different. But that isn't. I mean, they on purpose made a mistake in the English to make it think different.
Yeah. They made. Yeah. This is true. Yeah. That is Nike. That's another example. So there was a technology, which was the Air technology, that was as good as bad as Adidas. I mean, it was just a technology. Adidas was saying, we have the best running shoes. Look, even the German team, who just won the championship, uses it. So it must be a good product. But the insight was the job that a user wants to achieve is, I want to be professional. I want to be like a professional. I want to, my ambition is to be like a professional runner. Just do it. That was the promise of Nike. So communication, yes, it's I mean, it can be very important, but it also guides product development.
I think it's strangely having the Marlboro Man and the Apple next to each other, because whereas the Marlboro Man sort of reframed the product, the Apple ad didn't reframe the product.
No.
There, the idea and the product came first, and that was just one sort of manifestation of the core idea.
Yeah.
And X million would have looked the same way,
Yeah.
because the idea at the core was there already.
Yep,
The,
agree.
Whereas at the mobile, I think it's very much the other way around.
They absolutely agree. Also in the Nike, it was the, you know, I mean the product was there. Nike was a very small brand in the US, but the product was there. Yeah. So think about value proposition. Think about communication more than just the ads you see. It's really the value that is proposed. I mean, a value proposition is a value that you propose to the market, to new customers. So that's communication plays in. Yeah.
Yeah, they point out this in terms of social job.
Yeah.
So you said before that there's no emotional job, but you use the social job as part of your framework.
Yes. Next.
Okay. Because this is typically practice.
That's another crazy one which goes on, which is difficult to understand. So what's the job behind? Do you know this? It's the same company, service retailer. So your life, do you remember that there are some jobs behind it that are very, okay, you can call them emotional, but then, I mean, they are just, if they hit a nail, it becomes emotional. It creates love, suddenly, or anger.